I don't mean to be rude.
Danny Gaffone here for Pro Boxing Fans from Manchester. We've just had the final press conference for Jordan Gill versus Zelfa Barrett. Eddie Hearn, a lot's been said about what the winner could go on, but who do you think's got more to lose in this fight on Saturday night?
Good question. I think absolutely the same for both fighters. Like, your future at World Championship level is over if you lose this fight. And if you win this fight, you can go forward and push for, whether it's Cordina, whether it's Valdez, whether it's a vacant title, and you can headline again. It's a classic winner stays on, and one of the few fights where confidently I can't pick either way. I can see arguments for both, but have no idea how it's going to play out, and that's when you know it's a true 50-50.
We're a bit pressed for time, Ed, so just a quick run through the undercard.
Good card. I mean, I was disappointed to lose Flynn against Cameron Vong, but we kick off with Kane Baker against Michael Gomez Jr., which will be an absolute bloodbath. Rhiannon Dixon's in a great fight for a world title. Ellie Scotney's looking to unify. Obviously, you've got the Scousers, Jack Turner, Steve Clark, you've got Jimmy Sains, you've got Brandon, he's back as well, William Croller, Jordan Flynn still on the card. So good night of boxing and a brilliant main event.
And just moving away, Frank Smith said nobody in boxing likes Ben Shalom. It's not very nice.
No, I mean, Frank don't seem to be getting on with Ben. I don't know, probably no one in boxing likes me either. So, I don't know, I think that Frank gets a little bit frustrated because we hear certain things that come out from that side about agendas and all this, and we're like, what? Like, we're trying to actively make fights, not just fights that we have an idea about, fights that have been ordered, ones that you shouldn't really have an excuse to get out of, but they've done it now 5 times, and it's frustrating. But Frank can lose his rag. Bigger fish to fry over here from this old gentleman, but we wish him all the best.
A lot of comparisons were made to the way things used to be. It's like I'm talking about a relationship here, but between you and Frank. I spoke to Frank Smith about that, Frank Warren that was, and he said the difference was then if there was a deal to be done or there was a mandatory order, you and Queensberry would come together and make fights. From your perspective, how far away and how much of a gap is there from you and Boxer potentially reaching that stage?
It's there. I mean, it's there at any time to do it. Like I don't. We'll make one tonight. We'll make one tomorrow. But there's no willingness to compete in the ring, in a purse bid, at the time. I mean, but I don't mean to be rude, but our fighters are just on another level. Like in all of those 5 fights that were ordered, we win every one of them. So I don't mind them pulling out the fights, but don't do it on the day of the purse bid. Like, why would you allow Chev Clark to be mandatory for 2 months and then wait till the day of the purse bid to pull out when you know you're not fighting him? Like, Chev would destroy Isaac Chamberlain, and they know that. But I think it's like, what, you just deliberately trying to muck the career around of Chev Clark? It's not fair. So, listen, I'll make a fight today, tomorrow, but I don't think they're serious players, and I don't think they have the talent to compete.
I suppose we could wrap it up there. I mean, I can't think any other big matchroom news in the past 24 hours.
Other than the signing of Boots Ennis, which
what a coup.
Probably the greatest signing we've ever made. So looking forward to seeing him in action, and massive signing for our company.
I want to talk to you a bit about that. I sort of was thinking, because obviously Andy Cruz, Bozy Ennis, was that like a long-term play? Because obviously Bozy's like a big boxing man, and you aren't as established. So maybe you work with Andy starts singing.
At the time, we'd already kind of decided we were working with Andy when he had Bozy involved. But there was part of me that knew once Bozy saw how we operated, he'd be keen to bring his son there. I've been trying to sign Jaron Ennis for 5 years, and very honoured that he's put our trust in us and we won't let him down.
I'm just going to read you out a tweet here. I won't name who it's from, but sort of 2 points if you could address. Realistically, IBF World Welterweight Champ Boots Ennis signing with Eddie Hearn is another glaring example that PBC is running on fumes and basically out of money, as Ennis was wore out from all the Al Haymon, Hulbaluba and PBC propaganda. And then Conor Benn with no PEDs is very easy meat for Boots Ennis. Eddie Hearn will be serving him up to Boots after his mandatory.
Number one, look, I think, PBC can't keep fighters active at the moment in their TV deal. They're a good company. Al's very good at talking to fighters and keeping them loyal. Boots just wanted a change, and with regards to Conor Benn against Boots, Conor wants the fight. I still think he needs a fight or two before he fights Boots Ennis. I think Boots is a pound for pound great, but Conor wants to smoke, and maybe we'll serve it up.
Just last one on Boots. There's always been talk of a fight between him and Terence Crawford, but it seems like the financials were the main reason that Terence wasn't interested. With your signing Boots and obviously your relationship with the Saudis, do you think that could make that fight potentially more likely?
Yes, but we still have to build Boots and build his profile. I mean, you saw the response of the signing was incredible, but Crawford, who's a great fighter, the trainer, the team, they know how good Boots is. And they ain't going to fight him unless they get a load of money. So we got to make Boots a star so that we can deliver fights like that. I think Boots can beat Crawford. I really do. But they're both pound for pound greats.
A couple more quick ones, then I'll let you go. I was up in Morecambe yesterday for the Tyson Fury press conference where they announced that John Fury is now a part of the training setup. What's your thoughts on that? Obviously, John's someone who's not afraid to make his feelings known, and I think there's been reports of a bit of tension between him and Sugar Hill in the past. What do you make of John going into the team?
I'm sure Tyson knows what he's doing, and I'm sure they'll get it right ahead of May 18th.
Last one, Carl Froch and Frank Warren have been going back and forth. Froch was sort of slagging him off for basically holding hands with Turkey and went down a whole sort of like rabbit hole with it. What are your thoughts on that? I think Carl's point was like you wouldn't do this unless he was handing you money hand over fist.
I think it's a cultural thing more than anything. It's a sign of respect and hospitality. I think Carl and Frank are going backwards and forwards, but we're all loving life and loving the experience of working in Saudi Arabia, not just financially, but the enjoyment of it. And looking forward to be back out for Riyadh for Fury Usyk, and of course a 5v5, which will be announced on Monday, which with Bivol Beterbiev is the best card I've ever seen.
Eddie, wrap it up there. Thanks for your time.
Two Brits who are just prepared to gamble on Saturday night to get that shot at the world title and to give us a great fight in Manchester. Zelfa Barrett, who came so close to winning the World Championship against Rakimov in Abu Dhabi, gets a chance to headline in Manchester Arena. And the man to my right, they wrote him off after the Kiko Martinez fight. Talk about a second wind. Devastating performance against Mick Conlan out in Belfast to win as he looks to challenge for the Super Featherweight World Championship as well. Zelfa, we'll start with you. This is what you wanted for a long time, headlining in the arena. You've been to this place many, many times. Going to be a special walk on Saturday, and a lot of people very, very excited about this fight.
Yeah, man, it's a dream come true. Thank you to yourself and the team. But yeah, I've been running past this arena. I've been here when Kuala boxed Dallas Perez twice. Linares, Scott Quigg beat Kiko. I've been around there, watched Hatton. So it's just like a little achievement for myself to headline.
Obviously, both